Welcome, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
It's nice to see that more and more people are coming online. So I suggest that we wait for some more minutes. And meanwhile, we are waiting. Let me introduce you Mr. Hogul Park, one of the creators, the mastermind behind these meetings. Thank you, Mr. Park, for having this great idea to calling together this meeting every month. And it's also my pleasure to introduce my colleagues, Hanna Shin from Korea. Can we see Hanna's screen for a moment? Hanna, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, yes, it's great to see you, Hanna. How are you today? How are you today afternoon? You are in Seoul, I guess. It's afternoon, 4 o'clock there. How are you?
Yes, here is the 4 p.m. So we are very doing fine well. How
All
about
right.
how about the other countries?
Yes, I would like to ask everyone who's already with us to please put in the chat where are you from, where are you sitting at the moment, so we can see how many countries are represented, and please also share your introduction shortly if you want. You can share links, and you can use the chat to post questions, comments, and whatever information you would like to share with this international global STEAM network. And to continue the introduction of the hosts of today, I have a great honor to introduce my friend who is in the USA, in Fresno, if I'm right. His name is Dr. Christopher Brownell, who is the associate professor of the Fresno Pacific University. Chris, could you show your camera? Could you say some words to us?
I sure can. Greetings, everyone. Is my video going through just fine?
Yes,
I hope.
perfectly.
Wonderful. So it's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I'm in California, in Central California. Right now it is 2300 hours or 11 p.m. So this will be a fun time. If I get a little bit silly by the end of the evening, it's just because it's been a long day for me. I think you brought me on for comic relief anyway, so
Chris, we are all looking forward to that moment when you go silly during the meeting. So please feel free to be silly. I hope that this will be like a fun time for all of us. So you are warmly welcome to be silly also, like we all sometimes. And actually, it's also my great pleasure to mention many of our partners. So let me use some more seconds while people are coming online to introduce our partners. I should mention CMEO, which is a great educational center of STEM and mathematics in Southeast Asia. And they are also running QITEP, quality improvement of teachers and educational personnel in the region. And we also have Dr. Farida Nurajan's university supporting us, Sebelas Maret University, and of course, Professor Christopher Brownell's University, Fresno Pacific University is here too. And of course, Johannes Kepler University from Austria, and GeoGebra, and 4D Frame, and the International Association for the Advancement of STEAM and Experience Workshop is all uniting forces to promote these meetings. So, I already mentioned, and you could also see the introduction from the first speaker, who is going to be Dr. Farida Nurhashanah. She's the lecturer and researcher in Mathematics Education Department, Teacher Training and Education Faculty at the Syllabus University, which is one of our partners, as you heard. She's also the Deputy Director for Program in CMO for KITEP in Mathematics, and she's also the founder of Kid Scientist Corner, which is a website, kidscientist.corner.com, which is a website that provides resources for learning mathematics and science for partners, teachers, and students in Indonesia. Dr. Farida Nurashanah will be your first speaker during the day. How are you, Farida?
Hello, Dr. Kristof. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, we hear you and see you clearly. How are you doing?
Okay, it's doing very well right now, but here in my home, we have quite heavy rain. I hope that it will not interfere the internet connections.
I see.
Hello,
yes.
greeting for everyone. Good afternoon from Indonesia.
Thank you. We trust that also the element will be good to us, and also the situation will be resolved in your country. And let me also greet our other speakers. So let me introduce Dr. Chang Wing Kin from Hong Kong. He's a freelance educator, author, and researcher, and a curriculum developer in the University of Hong Kong. He's author of the book Having Fun with Dice, Learning Mathematics with Fun for Primary School Kids. And he's not only an excellent teacher and professional expert in education, but also a proud father of very talented children, or at least a child. I don't know if Claire has also sisters or brothers, but anyway, we know all Claire who joined these meetings already, and also the STEAM conferences. Claire is a school student also in Hong Kong, and also running her own YouTube channel, and she's already a great influencer in the STEAM education world. She's running fantastic projects, and I think we'll hear about it from her. How are you, Claire and Chang Wing Kim, today?
Hello,
are you with?
I'm Chang Wing Kim from Hong Kong. I'm happy to share with all of you. Now, I think Claire is having school at the moment, and she will joining us, I think, in about an hour later. And she'll be sharing about her making or her creation with 4D frame. I think it would be quite fun. Because all of you can see something from a learner's perspective. You can ask her question. You can, and I think she'll do live demonstration. So if you would like to ask her to try out something, please do so later on during the Q&A section.
Thank you a lot, Dr. Chang Wing Kim. Yes, even influencers, even STEAM influencers have some duties in the world, and especially what else it could be than learning. So we must respect that Claire is in the school, and I'm sure that she's doing fantastic things in the school too. And we are looking forward to have her also in the recess time, maybe. So I also mentioned this recess because actually, Chris is also a prolific author. He has a book called Math Recess. Chris, could you please share us with some inspiring idea in this time of the day, what came to you from your fantastic book, this Math Recess? Please inspire us before the seminar program starts, okay?
Wow.
What during your journey in these matrices around the world, what you were pleasurably enjoyed?
Wow, you're putting me on the spot there, Kristof, but that's not unusual. So Math Recess, the book is all about approaching math from a playful attitude, with a playful attitude and a playful expectation that mathematics is a joy to learn, and it ought to be taught in that way. So Yes, we'll talk more about that in coming days. We hope to. I hope to be able to present more about the book at a future seminar.
Absolutely, we must have a session on math recess, and we also need to face to the STEAM recess soon, I guess. So
Yes.
this fun and playfulness learning projects should be continued, and it should be continued together. And I'm sure that you are already all excited to hear the first talk, which will be a very interesting talk from Dr. Farida Nurhashanah. She will talk about flexibility on STEM toward STEAM, teacher professional development program during the challenging time. So I'm sure that this talk will have a lot of relevant thoughts, very relevant ideas, which you might also want to consider to implement in your own practice, in your own context. So I'm really looking forward to this talk, especially that on some ways I was also involved, at least to some stories what Farida Nurhashanah will share with us, because I had the pleasure to participate in one of the training programs, not only one of them. I even led a workshop when I wasn't there. So, okay, let me not explain it further to you, but there were many things happening. But the main things what were happening to me, that even during this pandemic time, even that I couldn't be there personally to meet with these wonderful Southeastern Asian teachers, but we had a very special relationship started through this screen, and I managed to make a lot of hands-on workshops together with them. Can you imagine that? So doing hands-on workshop online, I was pretty worried about this, but it turned out to be a great success. And we even danced together for the Baby Shark song to have some more blood into our brain vessels and being more creative and more free. And actually that was a really some moments when I felt free to dance with 100 of wonderful teachers on the song of Baby Shark. And I just learned in another seminar, there are many seminars, webinars in these days, from a researcher from Oxford, that a cognitive psychologist, that the rhythm of Baby Shark is basically a very specific pattern which help you, that your brain reacting. So this is not just a coincidence that this song is very popular and very popular among children. So the pattern has something to do with the stimulation of the brain. So it was a total surprise for me when I heard this in a completely other seminar. Okay, let me not steal more time from our speakers. So Dr. Farida Nurhashanah, please share your screen and jump into your talk. And meanwhile, dear audience, please put your questions, comments, and everything into the chat line, okay? So,
Kristof?
Yes?
Sorry, but before the starting, I'd like to recommend Mr. Park to give the greetings message.
Yes. Yes, please.
자, 안녕하세요. 이번 세미나를 크리스토프 박사님과 크리스 교수님과 함께 준비한 4D 프레임을 발명한 박호걸입니다. 이번 3차 세미나에 참여하신 여러분을 진심으로 환영합니다. 강연을 해주실 인도네시아 파리다 박사님과 홍콩의 챙윈킹 박사님과 그의 딸에게 감사를 드립니다. 이번 세미나에 예상보다 많은 인원이 등록해 주시고 참여해 주신 것을 이 세미나를 통해 새로운 교육과 정보가 공유되기를 기대하는 것 같습니다. 아무쪼록 이 세미나가 의미 있는 시간이 되기를 바랍니다. 감사합니다.
Hello everyone, I'm Hobo Park, the inventor of 4D frame. I have co-organized today's seminar together with Dr. Kristof Fenyvesi and Professor Brownell. I would like to give a warm welcome to everyone who have participated in today's event. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Farida Nurasana from Indonesia and Dr. Chang Wing Kin and his daughter Claire from Hong Kong for becoming the speakers of today's seminar. I'm very glad to see so many audiences have registered and joined today's event, much more than what we have expected. I hope we can share great educational innovations on today's event and have a meaningful time today. Thank you very much.
Bravo. Thank you. So, I'm sorry. So, Dr. Farida Nurasana, please jump into your talk. Floor is yours.
I'm so sorry for
Okay.
Farida.
Okay, it's okay, Hanna. Thank you so much, Dr. Kristof Fenyvesi, and then thank you also for Mr. Hodu Park from 4D Frame Korea, who invited me to be one of the keynote speakers here in this very interesting special seminar on STEM. It is an honor for me to be here to share our experiences in conducting teacher professional development programs on STEM education topic in Indonesia. Now, before I start my presentation, let me share my screen first and then make sure that the screens can be seen nicely in your screen. Okay, can you see the screen? Hello, can you hear my voice?
We hear your voice. We can't see your screen yet.
Okay, probably it still need to wait for a little bit. How about now?
Your camera may be stopped and we can see your screen. Maybe if you could restart your video, Farida, and try it again.
Can you feel? Sorry. Can you start again, Farida?
Well,
I
have
already
lost
set
Farida.
you as a co-host. Can you start again?
She's not with us any longer.
I think she will assess, okay?
I think she is out of the meeting right now.
So what do you think if we cannot handle this problem, if we change the order of the speakers, if Farida cannot return in a minute or so, and what about if Dr. Chang Wing Kin?
I can start anytime if Dr. Farida cannot join in the meeting.
Yes. I let this decision to made by Hanna from the organization team, but we can just simply switch order if it's a solution.
I think she's trying to assess here again.
Let's give her a few more minutes to try. Kristof, what's going on in your part of the world with STEAM lately? Is something new? Did you start a new web group or something?
yes, actually many things are happening right here, right now. So those who are interested in mathematics and mathematics popularization, mathematics learning, let me promote you a new website. It's called Pop Math. You can try Pop Math. I can write the web address a bit later to the chat. And this is a global map of current math popularization events. And you can register your math popularization event anywhere in the world. And actually all of us can see what's going on. And this can be an important source for information for math popularization events also in the STEAM around the world. So this is a
Very
new
interesting
thing. Yeah.
So would these be publicly accessible popularization events? Are they held at museums and that sort of thing? Or?
Yeah, the main criteria that it should be accessible by anyone, and yeah, so preferably not like a closed seminar where only selected few can enter, but those kind of events which are more addressed to the public. And so yes, and everything can go, and it's really exciting to see that how this universe is uploading right at the moment, and more events appearing every day. Yeah, and also there's another community. It's called STEAM Learning Now. STEAM Learning Now. If you search for that in the Facebook, for those of you who use Facebook, there is a wonderful growing community, STEAM Learning Now. I will also put the web address here soon. So that's also worth to check out. So, but I don't know if Farida managed to solve this problem.
Okay. Hello, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yeah.
Very sorry, I was kicked out from the Zoom.
Okay, no problem. Please, can you try to share? Yes, your screen is sharing
right now. Yes, I think. Okay, finally, thank you.
You are here.
And then the rain.
Yes.
The rain just stopped now. Okay.
Okay, please go ahead. No worries about the loss of time. Maybe the first question session will be a bit shorter, but please go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kristof. I'm very sorry for these inconvenient situations. And today I would like to share to all of you about the flexibility on STEM towards STEAM's teacher professional development program during the challenging time. So in this time, actually, I will not talk much about the theory about STEM or STEAM educations, but more share the best practice of what Dr. Kristof Fenyvesi mentioned in the introductions that we already conducted some of teacher professional programs, especially on the topic of STEM educations. And probably first of all, before I continue to directly into my presentation, I would like to introduce a little bit about what is SEMIO organizations. Actually, right now, I am is Deputy Director of SEMIO regional centers for mathematics, for Kitab in Mathematics. This is under the SEMIO centers, which is an organization of Minister of Education and Culture in Southeast Asian countries. And then the missions of this organization actually related to promoting regional collaboration on education, science, and culture in Southeast Asian regions. And the SEMIO Secretariat is located in Bangkok, Thailand. And then the member of the countries consists of 11 countries. We also have associate member countries from Australia, Canada, Germany, New Zealand, and Spain. And we also have an affiliate members that are in the National Council for Open and Distance Education in Norway, University of Tsukuba, Japan, and the British Council. also China Education Association for International Exchange in Tiongkok, and also Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding from South Korea. Then SIKIM, or Senior Regional Center for Kitab in Mathematics, stands for SIKIMS, is an institution that a center of professional leader in mathematics education for teacher and educational personnel in continuous framework. So we work more on how provide the teachers with many teacher professional development programs. And our mission is to provide education and services in terms of quality mathematics education for teachers and education personnel in senior member countries. And then we have many programs. Okay, the programs of SIKIMS consists of, at least here I share to all of you, 10 programs. First, we have a regular courses. Second, in-country courses, customized courses, online courses, course development workshop, joint research, research and development, seminar and symposium, IT content development, and consultation services. And this is some of the activities that we have. And on training programs, we have the main topic of the trainings. We have the main topic of the training. There are 8 main topics of the training. First, teachers make mathematics teaching aids, and then joyful learning in mathematics educations. The third is differentiated instruction in mathematics educations. And then the fourth is integrating ICT in mathematics educations. The fifth is clinical supervision in mathematics education, and STEM educations, of course, become one of our main topics. Okay. Become one of the our main topics for trainings. Why we choose STEM or STEAMs in the futures as one of our themes in our trainings? Okay, I will share to you. Based on the, oops, very sorry. No. That's down. Here, if we see in this map, this map I take from the leader words. Okay, as we can see that in the Southeast Asian countries, the background of leader words come from Southeast Asian countries. They have a background in education, especially in engineering and architectures, and also in education. So most of world leaders come from Southeast Asian countries, have these backgrounds. So I think it is really relevant if we want to promote STEM to so that we can have more engineers and also more professionals from education who potentially become the world leaders. And then based on the study that I did, the survey, this is in 2020. Yeah, 2020. The characteristic of the participants in this survey, okay, we can see that 46.2% of the participants, they teach 5 until 10 years. They have been teaching mathematics for 5 until 10 years. And then only less than, I think, 10% is the one who already more than 15 years. So we can see the characteristic of the participants. Yeah, mostly they belong 5 until 15 years a teaching experience. Okay, and then the result I got is that more than 7 of them, they haven't heard about STEM education, or they already heard but they do not have any idea about what STEM is and how we STEMs in our classroom, especially in mathematics classrooms. The total of participants 163 primary and secondary mathematics teachers. This situation, of course, it's become the reasons how we have to promote STEM education, especially Indonesia and Southeast Asian countries. And then Sikkim have the program on STEM educations. We have three types. First, we have a regular courses. Second one, we have in-country course, and the third is STEM camp. These three programs, this is a course, yeah. This is a training. This is type of a training programs. And then the two types of training programs is different in terms of the time of the participants and also how we conducted the training. For the regular courses, the target participants are mathematics teachers in primary and secondary in Southeast Asian countries. And we use international standard design so that we use English as the language. Hello. Okay.
Hear you.
And I don't know why the screen just moved by themselves. And then the second one, in country course, the target participant is local teachers from Indonesia, okay, from Indonesian schools, and we just using the national standard designs. And then the STEM camp, the STEM camp, it because of the pandemic situation, it's supposed to be for the local teacher also. But because of the pandemic situation, we move closer. It's around our office. I mean, around Yogyakarta and nearby areas only, local and less formal standard designs. And this is the pictures of three types of the programs you can see. We can see Dr. Kristof Fenyvesi, the one who already involved in our STEM camp program on October 2020. Okay, and then we also have another programs in community involvement. We call this one the STEM village. Okay, this have or in Indonesia we call it the Kampung STEM Johor. The aim of the STEM village is we provide the community in that village an applicable knowledge that integrated STEM in everyday life to the people of the Kampung Johor or the village Johor. And the activities involve for children, adults, and also for ladies. Okay, for children, we make a simple STEM-based game creation, and then for the adults, we introduce how the product creation with a cell value using the STEM approach. And then for the ladies, we introduce the locally based product, and then creation using a STEM approach, just like an eco print for the batik and shibori. This is the examples of the activities we conducted on STEM Village Johor. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic situations, this activity we postponed because there are many restrictions for this one, and we could not afford, and then we could not manage because it's much more difficult to manage the community or the people in the village rather than to manage teachers. Okay, that is the reasons. Okay, the reason why we postponed this program during pandemic situations. Then when the pandemic COVID-19 came, basically I want to explain to all of you that all the three courses that we design is not for an online or blended type of courses, but all the three types we design as an face-to-face teacher professional development program. Then when the pandemic COVID-19 hit us together, we have to switch. We have to think fastly and then, but also in a flexible way, those activities into fully online and then blended form and then offline. How we make adjustment in the offline, in the online and blended, it is very, very challenging time for us. But thanks God, we already faced this one. I will start from in-country course first. Why? Because the in-country course training teacher professional development programs has much more variety in the program. Not only online, but also conducted in offline, and also it's involves teachers not only in one group, but many. In-country courses that we conducted, usually in face-to-face, it need a week alone. The participant have to finish 42 hours training sessions in every session, should be 45 minutes. And the targets of this program is our primary and secondary teachers. Usually we collaborated with local districts, education institutions in some district in Indonesia. But last year we also collaborate with the Association of Indonesian Teachers who teach in Indonesian school around the world. So we conducted this type of in-country course on STEM but online. How we choose whether this is online, offline, or blended? First, we select the type of the area where we have to conduct the IC, and also the capacity of a local committee. The capacity of the local committee. For example, if the local committee, they can provide the places and then all the accommodation for the teachers, and then they can also implement the protocol COVID-19 strictly, then we can conduct this in-country course in a face-to-face setting. What types of COVID-19 protocol? For example, like this one. Before we enter the classroom and then the program, all the teachers should be tested by PCR or by the rapid test here in Indonesia to make sure that they are free from the COVID-19. Okay, and then they have to wearing masks, and then we get a setting the classroom so that there we need distance between one participants and other participants, and also the circulation of the air in the classroom we conducted in offline form. But then because some of the local committee cannot be afford this accommodation, then we conducted in online platforms. And here is the syllabus of the in-country course. The differences between in-country course and regular course is located at the implementation of the STEM design. If we can see here from the syllabus, in in-country courses, the participants do not have obligation to the implementation of the STEM design, STEM project that they created during the training. But later on, in regular courses, very sorry. But later on in regular courses, they have to implement the STEM project into the real teaching, set the differences. Okay. This is some of the examples that we conducted in-country courses in Wonogiri districts. Okay, they make a mess, focus of mess, and then also at the airplane with jets, okay, outdoor activity. And then here, the syllabus of the regular courses. The syllabus of the regular courses. Okay. The syllabus of the regular courses, almost the same, okay, with the in-country courses, but the difference is located here, as we can see. We have a peer teachings sessions, real teachings, reflection, and writing the report. So regular courses need to finish 100 training sessions here. And then all the regular courses we conducted in online mode, all the regular courses. We do not have regular courses in face-to-face setting. And then I will share to you how we conducted the regular courses on STEM education. Okay. Hello, Hanna. I'm sorry I couldn't move my screen here. Probably you already take the control for the slides.
Okay,
Could
that's
you move
fine.
forward? Could you move forward?
Sorry?
Could you move to the next slides? Because I couldn't control this from here.
Sorry, but I cannot control your slide.
But here I also cannot control my slide from my screen. Okay. Can you solve this?
Did you try to click on your screen?
Okay. Yeah, I already clicked several times.
And
But it seems
if you start a new screen sharing, so you stop screen sharing and
okay, stop sharing, and then I try to share screen again.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, yeah, I will share to all of you how our one participants from Myanmar, Miss Sumiat, she implemented the STEM projects in online platform. This is very interesting because I read from many questions in the list that Hanna gave to me about how we implement the STEM project during pandemic situations. But then finally, we have one example here when Miss Sumiat implement her design about hoop glider teaching STEM project located in Indonesia. Okay, here the students were from Pertiwi School located in Jakarta, and Miss Sumiat from Myanmar, the one who would be the teachers of the students. She explained how students need to do a STEM project, the steps, and I hope it can inspire teachers here in conducting STEM projects in online platforms. Okay, I will try to play the video. If you couldn't hear the voice, please let me know. Then probably we will do. We will try to play the video from the Hanna screens.
We have no sound.
Okay, no sounds. So how about Hanna? Are you ready to play the video? I will stop my screen.
What you can do if you go to screen sharing, Farida, and you share computer sound.
Okay, I will try.
It will be on bottom line in your screen sharing.
Yeah, so you can share it again with the sound.
Okay, I will try.
Be sure to choose the advanced settings and make sure you're sharing computer audio.
Okay, I will try audio settings. I will try this computer's audio.
It is probably not in the settings, but in the share screen options. You must.
In the share screen options?
Yes, when you
Share screen options, yes.
It on the bottom line, you will see.
You can just stop sharing first, and then
Okay.
you share again, and at the bottom you can find a checkbox with share computer sound.
Okay, or I will yes. Familiar sounds. Okay, can you hear the voice?
Unfortunately not.
No.
We still have no sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will try to. Alright, let me do this one. Okay.
Are you with us, Farida?
Yes, yes, I still with
Okay,
you. I
we
will
can-
try to share using this one. I hope it.
Okay.
How about now?
We have seen something for a moment.
Maybe I can try to help you to play that one.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Amazing, thank
Yes,
you.
I'm from I'm okay. Mingla Shin. This is like a good morning. Mingla machine. Good morning. Okay.
That
Do you think?
Yeah.
I want to ask you. Do you think? Is it also an
No.
airplane?
No.
I don't know what is that.
Okay. Let's say you are part of the team engineer. You are the great engineer that is asked by the company to build a hoop glider. To connect it among the cities, your job is to design and build hoop glider that can transport people to go a long trip. Now you are an engineer. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then
How do you make it?
yes, write your brainstorming ideas on your book
Maybe I can
or
build it.
paper.
Right, what glue too.
Oh yes, you have to make a hoop glider, and you have to make a successful solution. Use this is the criteria for you. Your hoop glider must fly, must hold a minimum of 1.5 meter or 12 feet. Okay, and your hoop glider can fly about 2 seconds. It's minimum.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Do you get it?
How long the stromies will be?
Okay, it's depend on you. It's depend on you. You can use your own design and you can create your own hook glider. So you can discuss with your group member.
Okay.
Please take a note. You have to test 3 times
Yeah.
with your group member
Yeah.
and record what happens in the following table.
My 3 hoop glider
Yes.
fly about 3 meters and 3 seconds.
Yes.
해보니까 러시아가 너무 많은 것 같아. 30% 정도 가야 될 것 같아.
great. You did it. You
And
did
my
a great
two
job.
gliders and my two hoop glider fly about 2 meters and 2 seconds.
Oh, great. It's great.
그래도 세 자리 좀
So, yes, you did a great job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, yes, you can speak. Okay.
From my experiment,
Yes.
I made 3 hoop glider.
Yes.
The first one was this one. This was the short hoop glider, and this one basically fly for 2 seconds.
Okay.
And
Second.
and this length was 13 centimeter.
Yes. Great.
And this one, I made this at last. This was the shortest, but the loop was the biggest.
Yes.
And this one was 10 centimeter long. It flies a little bit, like it flies 1 meters from here to there.
Okay, great.
And the last one was the longest, and it has 3 hoops.
Yes, 3 hoops.
And so I tested. This was the farthest of them all. This flies about like 3 meters from here to there. And
Yes.
the length was 23, and it lasts for like from 3 to 4 seconds.
Oh, great. You found it great hoop glider, and thank you.
Welcome.
You are great job. All of you did a great job. And you text your hoop glider good.
I touched my hoop glider.
So, yes. Yes, if you change the distance between hoop, do you think it will go further?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. If you change the measurement of hoop, what will happen? You change the hoop, right? The bigger one and the small one you change. If you change the measurement of hoop, what will happen?
I think it will fly a little bit further and a little bit up, I think.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you see in the presentation, some of your friends have 3 hoop gliders. So, do more hoops help the glider to fly better?
I think because this one, when I tried in the first one, it spin when it flies.
Yes.
And this one was the farther, so I think it makes it better to fly.
Yes. Great. Great. Thank you.
I hand over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's come to my slides. Okay, that's the examples how we conducted the real teachings during our regular courses. And actually, not only this one video, but I shared the video, the one produced in English, so that all the participants here can understand very well. We also have many others good examples from our regular course using STEM projects. Okay, here we got questions, Darlene. I'm sorry because we haven't posted the video into our YouTube channels because it related to the permission from the parents, the schools, and so on. So we still wait. If we already got they granted the permissions, then probably we will share into our YouTube. Let's we move to the STEM camp. These programs encompass a week-long workshop. This is an offline mode, so we do not conduct it in online mode, but not purely offline, because we also invited Dr. Kristof as one of our facilitator in this our STEM camp. And the difference between the STEM camp as in country course is that in the STEM camp, less formal, we conducted the training in the less formal programs, and then the targets also, as I said, that nearly Yogyakarta, and because in the STEM camp we were focused on the collaborative STEM activities, so we need to take the participants into one place so they can work on the collaboration. And this program is fully funded by Shin, so it's free for the participants. They just stay in one place together. Everything's we already prepares, and there's also a selections by the Shims. Otherwise, in country courses, we do not conduct the selections, but usually the selections did by the local committee, not by the Shims. That's the difference. And this is one of the most favorite pictures from the STEM camp, last STEM camp, when Dr. Kristof lead all the participants in the hotel to build a geodesic dome. And the video, and I put some of the video on my introductions when I share. And then this is another example when all the participants did STEM projects on the topic of water tower, and then they testing their designs in near to the swimming pool. Now, the flexibility in shifting from the offline into the online setting. As I mentioned before, that some of our in-country courses we conducted on online mode. Here, I picked some examples on the topic of STEM project with the topic of water tower. Hello, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay,
hear you.
thank you. Okay, because I hear some noise here, I'm afraid that you cannot hear me. Okay, and
You have about
yes.
7 minutes to go, if it's fine.
Okay, 7 minutes. Okay.
Thank you.
This is some okay, thank you. These are the examples of how we conducted STEM project teacher professional development program using an online mode. The participant have to post the design using learningapplication.org that I created. And then after they build the design, they implement the design, and then they have to test the design. Then they post how they test the design, whether it works or not. Okay, this is the example, and then they posting not only the pictures but also some videos. Here the videos, but I will not play the videos. It's only when they show how they already implemented the project, and then they test whether the water tower can support the water, okay, in the bottom. Now the STEM into STEAM. How the research, because this is a case study in my own STEM projects. Okay, the water tower STEM project actually asking the participant to create a design of water tower in accordance to the issue of water conservation, especially in Indonesia. Actually, this is designed using a used straw, not the new one. But then, in online platform, it is impossible for all the participants to stick the used straw. So, like it or not, they buy the new one. Actually, the idea, we will use the used straw from the school canteen to build some projects in STEM. But then because of the pandemic and an online platform, it cannot be done, okay? But then I found from the data that I have, there are three interesting problems to be discussed and to be studied further. First, the concept of altitude. About 60% of the elementary teachers and then 10% of the secondary teachers cannot determine where the altitude of the water tower, okay, correctly. Yeah, and then they also have problem with visualizing the abstract idea into drawing and into sentence. And the last one, the executing the design, as we can see from the example right here. On the left hand is the design, and on the right hand is the implementations. Okay, it is almost similar, but the details of the water tower is not put on the drawings, and then it is also quite good. See, the designs on the left is like this, and then when the implementation, they got the water tower like this one. Okay, we move forward. This one, how cool that the design is quite so different with the real product that they got. Okay, this is very interesting finding in my opinion. Okay, and then you can laugh. The design is like this, and then the implementation is like this. Okay, from the left to the right. Okay. So based on this data, okay, I found that there's a problem related to the visualization, representation, and also the abstraction of the participant, especially here on the water tower STEM projects. Most of the participants lack of the detail when they express their image idea, the abstract idea into the drawing for the design. Here, I put two pictures. On my left screen, there is a dragon. This dragon, of course, from the imagination, then they put into the drawings, but it's quite details like this one. We can see the foot of the dragons and then so on, and the fires. And on my right hand, it related to how we make drawing of the real objects. Usually, the real object comes from the three-dimensional object into two-dimensional object. But here, in this case, I show you draw me as one of his project also. In this case, I think we can the drawing here as an art, a component to the project of to the STEM project with the topic of water tower. By adding the arts into the STEM project of water tower could probably help the participant in terms of making visualizations, representation, and abstraction, so they can drawing, and then when implemented the design into the real objects, they can make prediction how many straw they will use, and then the dimension of the water tower itself. And I think it is very, very important, and it become new opportunity to be studied in future research. And then the is that with the flexibility in the design, I think teacher professional development program can be carried out during the pandemic COVID-19. So the main point is how creative and how flexible as to redesign again all the teacher professional development programs. So I think that's enough for me. I hope that can inspire all the participants here, lecturers, and also researchers on STEM education. Thank you very much. Now the time I give back to you, Kristof or Hanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Farida. Could I just ask one quick question? If there were people in your vicinity who were interested in becoming engaged and involved with your project, could they contact you at the email address that you've provided, or are there other websites that they could use to connect with you?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Brownell. Actually, you can contact me through my email address. I will give the email address into the chat box. Okay.
Thank you. That would be wonderful. Would you be able to stick around for a little joint question and answer time at the end of Dr. Kim's time? I'd like to move to give him the time now. Is that all right?
Yes, it is okay, I think.
Okay. Coming to us from Hong Kong, Dr. Kim, would you take over, or Kristof, do you have a few things that you need to say?
No, I think it's if we go forward, and the next speakers who've been already introduced are Dr. Chang Kin and his daughter, Miss Chang Claire Tsayan, and their talk is called Enriching Student-Centered STEAM Learning Experience with 4D Frame. So we will see a lot of interesting examples, I'm sure, and many people here are already using 4D Frame, and who are not yet using 4D Frame, I'm sure that they will use 4D Frame after they see what can be done with 4D Frame. So the floor is yours, and Chris will also be our host that we will keep in time, and he will conduct the final joint question and answer session, where questions to Marida and also to Chang and Claire and Kin can be discussed and posted. So please post your questions in the chat already from now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Chang Kin from Hong Kong. I am a freelance educator. I work at different university in Hong Kong. Let me introduce myself. I'm a curriculum development officer in the University of Hong Kong, and also I'm teaching in the Chinese University of Hong Kong and the Hong Kong Baptist University as a lecturer. I mainly teach some pre-service and in-service teachers, those math teachers. And here you can see my book in Cantonese. It is about having fun with dice, learning mathematics with fun for primary school kids. And I'm happy to share different idea with you if you are interested. And I'm also a researcher. I'm interested in any idea in researching on mathematics education, STEAM or STEM, 4D frame, student-centered learning. Now, here are some material that we have. What can we do with this material? How can we make use of these to help small kids in learning mathematics? I choose something about the number sense for very small kids, like 3 to 5 or 6 or 7 years old kids. And we can make something like that. You can see I use a 4D frame. I use the wheel of the 4D frame. I use some beads. Those are the beads that Claire used when she was very, very small. She used them in making some bracelet, but she do not use those beads now. So I take those beads to make something like that. And you can see I use soft clay to make something like that, and you can see some dice here. And today, I'd like to share with you some idea about the rack and rack and the 10 frame. It helps small kids in building up number sense. So it's something like counting, addition, subtraction, and some place value concept. But I think in a short period of time, I am not able to speak all about these concepts. So let me share with you some basic mathematic development of small kids. At a very young age, small kids, they can do addition and subtraction without formal schooling. The success depends on whether the problem contains small number, whether the context is meaningful, and whether manipulatives are available. Sometimes if we want to help small kids and develop number sense, we have to give the kids something to play with. That's those manipulatives. And I think 40 frame is a very, very good tool in giving the chance for small kids to play with. And also the preschooler performance improves when non-verbal responses are permitted. Sometimes teachers always ask students to write something down, write the number sentence. But if we just ask the student to work on something, show me something, what is it about that? Then I think they can move some beads, they can show you something. It shows their concept. And here I would like to explain to you small kids, they view numbers as non-structure. So what does it mean by non-structure? So let's take 35 as an example. And they know that 35, this number, it has 10 digit and unit digit. But they consider this number as a whole numeral. It is a certain number. We can see that this 35, we can break them into two parts. We can break them into 3 tens and 5 ones. But small kids, they just consider it as a number. So they just count it as a number, as a group of items. But they cannot consider that as decimally structured. And we have another example. Some small kids, they write 35 as 305. They write 753 as 70053 because they do not integrate both parts. They just tend to write the number verbally. So 700, it is 700. So they know how to handle 2-digit number, but once it comes to 3-digit number, sometimes they write it in this form, 70053. And here hundreds as a bundle unit, and they are not yet integrated into a place value of 2-digit or 3-digit numbers. And here is another very good table that shows how children, they do addition and subtraction. I would like you to just spend about like 10 to 20 seconds, see what this is about. Okay, in our schooling, very often teacher tends to teach children the digit-based algorithm in column form, but wait for a moment. Let me stop sharing. I did again. I clicked the wrong button. Okay. Some kids they tend to use digit-based. A teacher used digit-based algorithm. Teach kids on doing the vertical form addition or subtraction. But actually, the student, they can do the number-based strategies if they have something to play with. They have some manipulatives. They can do some addition, like here. If we would like to add 38 46 to 38. They can do decomposition. They can do it sequentially. Like, what does it mean by sequentially? 38, they can use the finger or use some manipulative. They can count it by 10. So they have 48, 58, 68, and then 78. They count 4 tenths and they get 78. And then they add up 6, they do counting. So they can work on it sequentially. But in our schooling, particularly in Hong Kong, when children, they are in primary 2, when you start learning addition, teachers normally just focus on the digit-based addition in column form, and the student needs experience in playing with numbers sequentially, doing decomposition, and doing varying or column-based strategies. So here, I would like to share with you how we can play with this idea with 10 frame. And this one is developed by researcher Van der Waals. It's something like that with lots of different 10 frame cards showing 7. And here it is the 10, here it is the 10 frame made by 40 frame material. And you can see here, it is a QR code, so then showing you how we can make a 10 frame. Okay, another example here, I make a 10 frame and I use an A4 size paper, drawing some 1-inch boxes, and we can have 10 frame in this form. Okay, and then another one, I make the 10 frame in a rack. Okay, so 10 frame, it helps children to anchor number to 5 and 10. Say, for example, 8. Children can consider it as 5 and 3 more. So they can see a 5 and then 3 beats at the bottom. Or they can see it is 2 away from 10. So they have this number 8. It help children to anchor the number 8 into 5 and 10. So it's moving the transition for student from doing counting to addition and consider number as a structured number. And it helps children to subsidize a small number. Another one I would like to share with you is this rack and rack. And I think it is developed in Holland or Dutch researcher, Asian Travers. And I think it can, I think it pronounced as rake and rack, right? Actually, I don't really sure about the pronunciation. It helps children in building up number sense. Actually, it is called counting whack. And how to make a rack and rack. And here I have the QR code. Later on, I can share with you. And if you like to make it with 40 frame and some beads, then you can try to follow it. And this one, it shows how we can play with the rack and rack. And then if you don't have the 40 frame, you don't have the beads, you can try some virtual tools. And here are some good virtual tools that you can find on the internet. But I strongly suggest that if the children are given the physical tool to explore it, it would be much, much better. Okay, now let me show some demonstration to you about how we can play with this 10 frame and how we can play with the rack and rack. Let me stop sharing here. I use another gadget to share with you. Okay, I think you can see the 10 frame, right? So if the keys are small, we can just simply throw a dice 1, and the kids show 1 here. And if we can show another die 6. Can you add 6 to it? And the student and the small kid need to count 6. So the kids need to count 6 and then place it on the 10th frame. Okay, so they get a number, and you can ask the kids what it represents. It is 7. And when kids have ample time to play with, they may anchor the number 7 as 5 and 2, and you can ask the kids how many more views should you add on it to make 10. So it helps them to make 10. They need 3 more. So 7 and 3, it makes 10. I think it is really important that if we help kids to make 10, it helps them to develop a subtracting skill in doing addition. And we can use another one, this one. Throw a number 5, and the kids, they can move this beat and they can show 5. And we can also set some other mission cards when the kids, they draw some mission cards, say, can you show me an 8? And some students, they may use 5 and 3. Okay, so it is, sorry, let me, yeah. 5 and 3, they can get 8. And they may do it 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I think it helps kids to play with it. Now, let's move on to the rack and rack. And this one is the rack and rack. Okay, so let me move away this one. And so now let's take another dice. It is a 20-sided dice, and I throw the number 13. It shows 13, but the direction of the camera does not show it quite well. So it is 13, and we ask the kids to show us 13, and I think they can easily move 10, and then 1, 2, 3. So it is 13. And we can also use this one, and we can add another row of beads. And each row of beads can represent unit digit, 10 digit, and 100 digit. And we can ask kids to do addition of 2-digit number. And they do not need to use the column form, and they play with this one. They will start having some place value concept, and they can use the decomposition method. They can use the sequential method in doing addition or subtraction. So I think it is really good way to help students. They have some tool, they play with it, they work on it, and they build up the math concept. Okay, and let me come back to this one. So I have, and using 4D frame, and I think 4D frame, it is excellent too, because as you can see, I can just add another row of bees, and I have another row, and I can easily make another one. Okay. And we can make it more fun with dice, because when children play with the dice, it is more entertaining, because they don't know what number is shown next. And also, some students may have a sense of ownership, because that number, I throw it out. This number is the number that I made. Okay, so I think the kids are really enjoying playing this kind of game. And we can also make it as a project learning. So for larger kids, like grade 3, grade 4 children, we can give them a project task, ask them to do something, make an abacus. Based on the rack and rack, they build on something, they do research, And I think if teachers allow students to do so, they can use the abacus that they make or the rack and rack that they make in the assessment, in the test, in the exam. And I think this one would be their own production of a calculator, their calculator. Okay. And we can have some other research. Teacher may allow student to use the rack and rack in the assessment, or teacher may allow kids, grade 3, grade 4 student to make their own abacus and see if there is any improvement in the children's performance. And in making the beads, I have some other suggestions, see if it works, I don't know. We can use 4D frame reels, the black one. And if we use different color, I think it has a better visual image for the student. And I use soft clay to make another rack of rack and rack. And I think the small kids, they can make one on their own. It can be an art lesson. They can use soft case to make some beads like that. And for larger children, older children, I mean, they can use 3D printing to print the beads. And also, we may try to see if we can use recycled plastic, put it in metal mold in donut shape, see if they can make some plastic recycled beads that can help the smaller children in their own school. And now let me, I think it's time for Claire to show her working, and she has some creation using 4D frame. Claire, over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen first. I think you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Claire Chang from Hong Kong St. Mark's School. So I'm really happy to have this chance to participate in this STEM seminar. And anyways, I learned a lot. Without further delay, I would first like to introduce the flow of my presentation. So I'm going to share my learning progress using 4D frame from grade 4 to grade 7. So for grade 4, I made a robotic arm. And for grades 5 and 6, I made 2 cars with microbit and a Juno. And for grade 7, I made a theme park collection. And lastly, I'm going to do a live demonstration on each of these products. So first, let's start with my grade 4 creation, the robotic arm. So as you can see on the left, these are some features of my robotic arm. Here are some removable joints, and this is a hexagonal structure. And there are arms and fingers connected to my arm. And lastly, there's a pushing stick. So, but what I want to focus on is not the features of my robotic arm, but the process of how I made it. So this was the original version of the of my robotic arm, and I was just following it on a prototype on a book of some instructions. And then I tried to give it some amendments, and then I thought it would be better if I make it with a better structure, and now I use the hexagonal structure. So as for grade 5, I made this microbit car. And also here are some features. So I used this microbit and the Kidronic motor driver, and there are 2 pairs of wheels. And the structure is a rectangular prism structure with a 4D board, which made it very tight. And the thing I really like of my car is that these 2 wheels are easily changeable because you just need to reassemble and you can change it anytime. And it is very flexible and it can cope with different environments. maybe, for example, when I am walking on a road with many rocks, perhaps I'm going to use this small wheels because they're smaller and they have higher density, and the rocks may not be that easy to trip. But for some slippery road, maybe I'm going to use some bigger wheels, so it will be easier to control and walk more smoothly. So this is basically the same structure as the previous car, but this is my grade 6 creation. I changed the driver to the Juno, and here. These are also some features of my car, and this is, I used the 9V Duracell. Okay, this is not direct advertising. And here I use the 4D frame mechatronics Juno board. And there are 4 DC motors, unlike the previous car. It is more strong and it will be walking faster. And lastly, this is a bigger size of wheel. Let me go back, sorry. Oops. Here. And also, this Archimedes solid is used as a container because I made this car for a competition. This can carry some small objects from one place to another. So let's move on. After this process of these 2 years, my grade 5 and grade 6 experience, I learned many things, such as using the different solids, as Dr. Kristof has mentioned earlier that in Dr. Chang's presentation, maybe we can make some giant dice with these solids. So these are some Platonic solids made with 40 frame. I remember that is called the tetrahedron, and then the cube, and then the octahedron, and the icosahedron, and the dodecahedron. And also, I made this tower with some triangles and different lengths of tube. This is the 6 cm, this is the 5 cm, and this is the 4 cm, and then 2.5, and then 2, and go straight into the top of the tower. And this is a very tight structure. So another thing I learned was that building 4D frame has a very important key, which is flexibility, because in my 2 cars, I made the Archimedes solid that can be easily assembled to the car, and also I can change the wheels anytime, and I think this is very important in order to cope with different, sort of environment or anything. And this is also my learning progress of programming that I would like to share with you. So this is the project that I made with the microbit MeCode editor. And then I tried different functions like using the radio signal. And as for grade 6, I used this Arduino Uno, which is not that board I mentioned earlier, but actually another board, but I'm not going too deep into it. And also the Arduino board from the 40 frame mechatronic kits. And I control it using the Ready-Build smartphone app. So lastly, I'd like to share with you my grade 7 creation, which is this year's creation, the theme park collection. I've got only 2, but don't mind because I don't really have so much time. So it has 2 structures, including the upper hexagonal structure and the base. So there are colorful seats here that I really like because it was a rainbow actually. As you can see, there is yellow and red and purple, and then blue, and then green, and I really like it. And lastly, here is a DC motor that I use to swing. And then I would also like to introduce that at first, I just followed a prototype of making this Ferris wheel in a book also, following the instructions. And after that, I came up with an idea to create this thrill ride myself that it rotates. So yeah. And as you can see here, this is part 1 and this is part 2. This is the gyro swing that I also made. So here is a servo motor, And then this is a DC motor for rotating. And then this is a trapezium prism structure, also here. And then the colorful hexagonal swing here. So this idea was actually from my Sweden friends after a competition, and they are here today as supporters as well. And this idea of making a gyro swing with 4D frame was actually from them, and I collaborated with them for a few months, and I hope we can have more interaction soon. So as I mentioned at first, after my presentation of all these, I'm going to share my my learning progress with the demonstration of the live demonstration of my products. So now I'm going to turn off the camera here, and then I'm going to move straight to my phone. And now I'm going to share my stuff. Just wait a sec. These technical problems are driving me crazy. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So I think you can see my screen now, right? Yes, I think you can see it.
Yes.
Now I'm going to move to my camera. Oh, thank you. Thank you for responding. Yes. So first I'd like to show you my robotic arm. I think that only talking is very boring. So now I'd like to show you how it works. So when I push this stick, it's going to expand and come back and expand and come back. So next for the microbit car over here, I actually didn't mention before that I actually used a control using another microbit with using the radio signal function. So here is the microbit you can see. And when I turn on the power here, when the two microbits has a light over here, as you can see now, this light and this one, it means they're connected. So now let's get moving. When I tilt forward, it's going to go forward. Backward, it goes backward. Left and right. Oops, wait. Let me come back first. So we're going to right, and then it's not very steady, its connection. So it's basically work like this. And I think we shall move on to the Juno car very soon. Just have one last look at this. Okay. Give me 1 sec to turn it off also. And now I'm going to take my Juno car here. So this time I have to use this smartphone app. Open it up here. And I press controller 1. And I have to connect the cell. I made this place especially for the cell to put in. And now we can connect it Bluetooth. And when I press this, it's connected, hopefully. Okay, so here I can adjust the speed by this down and up button. And now let's go the speed down a little bit, or it's going too fast and it's out of control. So like this, forward, backward, right and left. And let's go back to forward and backward.
기본 모델인데 메카에.
showing a trick.
우리 고등학교 오빠들 거 보여줘요.
So as you can see, the structure of the car and these two cars basically have the same structure. It was just the driver that was different. So I hope you like it. Well, and lastly, which is also my favorite part, I'm going to show you my thrill ride. Also, just some connection here. Give me a sec. Okay. And I'm going to disconnect the Arduino board of the car, and now I'm going to connect it with this microbit. Also, the cell. Okay, here. B1 controller, and then I connect the Bluetooth here. And for this time, I'm going to also use this and turn down the speed a little bit. And it's going a little bit crazy, actually, to be honest. Look, I can't imagine that any ride in a theme park is going to be like this, but, well, this is funny. But there's one part that I really like, apart from the colorful seats, that if you look carefully, he is a passenger in this yellow seat. Let me take it out to let you see closer. Here is a little guy over here, which I made it very carefully. And let's watch the demonstration a little bit more. Maybe just bit down a little bit.
이게 제일 줄인 걸 걸려 아마. 이 옆구리 천천히 안 되더라고.
So lastly, the gyro swing.
Claire,
Yes?
the phone is off, I think. You have to connect it again.
Oh, thank you for telling me. How about now?
No, still waiting,
Okay.
I think.
Maybe I'll try to share again.
We have to reshare.
Oh, I see. How about now?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Thank you. So the gyro swing. Hope you can see it now. This time we've got two connection wires because one is for the servo motor and the other is for the motor, DC motor. And here. This time I think we're gonna use another controller with a servo motor control. Perhaps this one. Like this, as you can see, this swing is swinging now, and the servo motor is going to turn like this. Oops. Turn this off. And now I think I'm going to disconnect these two and let's get back to the debriefing of my PowerPoint. Okay. I'll stop sharing right now. It's normal if you can't see anything. Okay, so yes. Now I'm going to move back to my computer and I'm going to share my PowerPoint once again. I hope you can see me and my PowerPoint now. So here, can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So lastly, the last two slides. So as I shown right there, those are some of my most remarkable creations, but actually I created other things like this grade 5 creation. If you watched my promotion video, I've actually showed this too. So this is a microbit of obstacle avoidance car I made for myself. Let's watch this video. So here's an ultrasonic sensor in the car, and when it senses an obstacle in front of it, like now it's walking towards the camera and it's going to go backward and then turn left or right so it won't bump into anything. I once came up with a very good idea that I can put a mop under the car and then let it control free in my room for like an hour or two, and it's going to sweep the floor for me so I don't have to do it myself. Okay, so anyways, for grade 6, I also created this dancing machine with gears. This is very complicated. Look, this when this purple thing is rotating, it's gonna trigger the others and then right to this. And when this stroke is rotating, this man over here is dancing. So lastly, for this year, I've also made this creation of making a 40 frame and microbit lantern. So it was basically made with this very complicated structure again. And then when I tilt the microbit with different motions, and it's going to have different colors of light and maybe sometimes turn off as well. I actually made this for a competition inside the school, but yeah. So last slide. Thank you for listening. So these are my contact information, and this is the QR code of my channel. And here, this is my YouTube channel, and these are some videos, and these are some further creations I made for say, you know, I didn't show it in my presentation, but you can go watch it sometimes, and please do subscribe because I got only 28 subscribers and I get one every 3 to 4 months. And I guess if I want to be someone like Billie Eilish having like 1 billion subscribers, maybe I'll take centuries and I'm finding a way to long live. Okay, just kidding. This is a photo of me having all my creations inside, and I think that's it of my presentation. So now let me hand over back to Dr. Chang. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. And I think Claire's demonstration speaks for everything, right? Let's have a quick summary. I think in STEM education, it is very lecture that students learn by doing. So it's really, really important that students have the tool. So if they have the tools, then they can create anything. In Claire's example, she failed to create anything at the beginning. I remember that when she first got the 40 frame kits, she just keep asking me how to make something. She did not know how to make a cube. But now I think it is really important that someone have a prototype. Once they follow some instruction, they have to follow the prototype, they make something. And as a teacher, we don't just stop there. We just keep pushing the student. Can you make some improvement? Can you fine tune it? Can you make it more precise? And can you extend the idea and make some connection with some other thing, like microbeat, like Arduino? So we need to keep challenging students. Okay, so here's some reference of my presentation. So that's all for our presentation. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I was a little caught off guard there. Thank you, Dr. Chang and Kim. And Claire, let me just be the first among many who are ready to give you a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well.
It was a wonderful presentation. You clearly demonstrated that you've grown a lot in these years. When did you start building?
I started building 40 frame in grade 4.
In grade 4, and you are now in grade 7?
Yes.
Congratulations. Could you once again put the QR code or to your YouTube channel up, because I know there were some people who were very interested in
thank you.
In seeing that and subscribing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I for one am one. So
oh my God, I've grown for 4 subscribers.
Yes, you're going to go beyond that very quickly.
Actually, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm having a competition with my cousin, and we're trying to race who has more subscribers. And now I think I'm gonna win.
First to 100.
Wait, what?
First to 100.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great competition. So, all right. We'd like to open it up though for everybody to, while you put that up, I'm going to open it up for people to ask questions of both Dr. Chang Kim and Dr. Farida, and see if we can get a few more tidbits of information from them while we're here. So folks, if you have a question for either Dr. Farida or Dr. Chang Kim, it would be great. Now's a good time.
Excuse me, Dr. Brownell. Actually, we already get some questions. Thanks by the Hanna from the Redis forum.
I do have some of those questions, and were there some of those in particular you wanted to answer? Or shall I just choose some?
Actually, you can choose some.
Okay, I will happily choose some. So one person asked, is the use of technology always relevant for learning mathematics in all places, including in remote areas? Do either of you have thoughts on that subject, the use of technology?
I think technology would always help in learning in certain way. But even if we don't have technology, we can use simple tools. We can just use pebbles or small stone and do some counting. So I think it is more important to have the learning idea rather than the learning tools.
Yeah.
Actually, in my opinion, I agree with Dr. Chang that we can use technology even in a remote learning. But if the participant asking specifically just like information and communication technology, that's different. But somehow more of teachers are more focused on the technology, but not the idea of the learning itself. I think even in remote areas, we can still also use the technologies.
Especially in this time, there's no way to do learning without technology.
Yes.
It seems like it's very hard.
That's right.
So another question is it possible to do a STEM or STEAM sort of emphasis for upper grades? People notice that both of your presentations seem to focus more towards the elementary school, the younger children. Are there things that are done that are more appropriate for secondary and upper secondary students?
And I think Claire's example is a very good example for some upper grade activities. She did it because of the competition. So she tried very hard in learning something new, which was not taught in the classroom. But if we use this idea and change it into a technology classroom, children learn how to code, how to do programming. They can learn engineering by connecting a Juno with some wire and the LED light and the beatboard and the breadboard. So it is a kind of technology lesson. And with the 40 frame, the children can build strong structure. And it is a math lesson. And with the motor, and they drive the motor and have some motion. So it is a mechanical engineering lesson. So I think if we can use some idea like that, and we can have different lesson in different discipline.
So, Dr. Farida.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brownell. Yeah, actually, in the case of, for example, my case in water tower projects, it is possible to redesign, especially for the higher class. For example, as we just saw about how 4D frame, we can use 4D frames and also input a robotic there by putting more constraints. So the constraint is not only just for example, the water tower, it can support the water, but how we can make sure that the water can flow into the same area of the people, for example, of the host. So in the higher level of education, it can be done. We can also put the robotic there so that it much more suitable with the engineering in the higher level of educations. Thank you.
Thank you. One further question that comes up that I encounter quite often in my discussions with people about the STEM and the STEAM frameworks is the difference between STEM and STEAM, and what does it mean to include the arts and art aspects? Do you both or either of you have ideas about those subjects, including arts?
Yeah, Dr. Brownell, probably from my presentations, I show that how actually the arts components can be embedded as one of the answer for the problem the problem that I found from the data that we conducted the STEM projects. But then I think put the arts, it could help the participants to be better understanding in how to visualize the designs and then how to be more creative, more detailed. It's also as a component of the arts itself here in my previous presentations. So I think art is very important also as a part of the STEM, not only just science, engineering, and techniques and mathematics, but the components of art, as we can see that it could help them in some way to, to make some better visualizations and then to more detail so that the mode is better. Okay, that's I think. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think Claire can share her example to you because she likes drawing and she's now learning some digital tool to draw. And Claire, can you share with us something?
Okay, so yes, as Dr. Chang has stated, I'm trying to draw different tools like Photoshop, and I sometimes also I think everything is about creating something by yourself. Actually, I first create something following others, like some fan art of some cartoon, or maybe anything that I really like from others, and then I usually create my own. And also like STEM education, when I create things, as I responded earlier, that I usually follow some prototypes of others, like programming. Maybe I'll have to copy the code, and then after I understood, when you understood a concept and then you're going to do great in other areas when you do make other programs. And I think it's really important to be creative, and also adding art into STEM would be really, really great.
Do you have a few examples of your work that you wanted to share?
And actually, if you watch her promotion video, it's all maybe by Claire. I just give her some photos and the PowerPoint slides. She made the promotion video for me and for herself. And I think Hanna, you can share the promotion video link to the participant. And Claire, I think you can share something more to the other participant, right?
Yes, and responding to someone's question earlier, this is the recent artwork that I made. I created this, and I'm trying to make it with other poses, and also I've also tried drawing myself. Let me show you very soon. Wait.
And when she drew, I saw that she used some geometric shapes. And over to you.
Here is me drawing myself. I'm sorry if it does not look very alike, but I think that's okay.
It looks much better than anything I would draw of myself. So thank you for sharing.
As Dr. Chang mentioned, I actually also really like drawing with geometrical shapes. Like I like creating wallpapers for my phone or maybe for my computer. And I think that with some geometric shapes or maybe some curves or different lines, it's going to make a great pattern.
And I think it is really important that someone has the idea to create something, to make something. It can be some math and technology, or with some physical tool or some artworks, and you can see that once you have this kind of idea, then you will have something new in the future.
I was just going to type something. I was typing something to you, Claire, and I'll just say it out loud. You should submit some of your work to the Bridges Math Art conferences that are coming up. They're in the middle of accepting papers and artworks right now, and we have the Higley children's math artwork collection. We'd love to have you contribute to. So
I'm really glad to have this invitation, and actually I'm working on a project at my school of mathematicians, and I'm planning to do the mathematicians René Descartes from French, I think. And then when I saw his most famous discovery, which is the Cartesian geometry, it was made of different like grids with the X and Y axis. And when I searched on the internet, I found that somebody draw with the coordinate geometry grid, you know, like having those squares, and then they draw minions, or maybe John, wait, what and Terry, I forgot. And then some very funny cartoon characters, and I'll absolutely look it up.
yes, definitely do so. And does anyone have any further questions for our panelists today? If not, I'd like to hand this over to Hanna and Mr. Hogul, Mr. Park. You're silenced.
Is anyone who have a question to who gave the question already to us? Anyone can give the question. Turn on your mic. Is there anybody?
We will take questions from anyone in the gallery.
Yeah.
I think Claire must be 80 years old. Something's not right here. I don't know what it is, but I have to think about it.
She is a very poised young woman.
Quite remarkable.
Kristof?
Kristof had to leave. So it's us. So without any other questions, then let's call this special seminar complete. Mr. Park, do you have parting words, or are we finished?
소장님 혹시 끝내시면서 하실 말씀 있으신가요? 이제 행사 마무리하고자 합니다.
He's muted.
소장님 마이크 켜주세요.
두 분 너무 수고 많이 하셨고 우리 학생이 너무너무 잘한 것 같아요. 칭찬해 주시고 앞으로 4D 명예연구원으로 좀 초빙을 하고 싶네요. 너무 감사합니다.
All those speakers are amazing. Thank you for everything. And actually, yeah, I would like to hire Claire to our laboratory for the frame. Yeah, yeah, I think she can be a great researcher. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, everyone, and be well. We will see you next month. Yes.
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 Okay.
So the next event will take place on March 16th, March the 16th. So, and we'll give you the details, more details on our email. So please do subscribe to our email system. And okay, yeah. And have a great week. Have a great day or night. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for attending this for 2 hours, and we are looking forward to seeing you again on March.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll certainly be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much again.
And you can also subscribe our The Fully Brain YouTube channel. Bye.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Mr. Park.